Ta-da! Yay, it worked! You don't know how hard this has been. This has been like the Krypton factor. I've been sat for at least half an hour because I'm sick of Facebook putting on the worst still image of what I'm doing. So I wanted to make a little sign. So Facebook, if you're going to pause me now. These little bags of all these little bits have been driving me insane. So welcome, you are being treated this week. I have got so much free time that I've actually been able to come live most days, but today I'm wanting to come live on summer makeup. So if you're hopping on, please do say hello. Hi Natalie! So I've made a little sign, and when I did it the first time I realised that this all had to be back to front because this is a mirror image. Go figure. It's taken me ages, all that effort, just to be different. So I'm coming to you live today, as the title suggests. It's going to be a really quick live while I get ready on summer makeup. So as you all know, I've been doing loads of lives lately on the amazing wax foundation, but I appreciate at this time of year, foundation is probably the last thing on your mind, but you are probably still suffering with a few outbreaks and you're wanting to get a little bit of coverage, but you don't want to go the full shebang. Now, also what I've been wasting my life with this morning is watching the unibrow technique for brows. Now, I don't know if anybody's actually done this, and I'm probably going to attempt it live. So let's see what happens. Hi Natalie! So all I'm going to do is go through my products that I would use for summer makeup. So anybody that's kind of on the run or is going on holiday, doesn't want to put too much on their face if they've got perfect skin, but they're still wanting to have a little bit of coverage. Yes, Natalie, me too. I wear it every single day, but I know it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people that joined me on pre-launch that were looking to get the foundation when it arrived. I've actually now switched over to the concealer because the concealer itself is actually camouflage makeup. It's used in TV and film to cover scars, acne, burns. So it's not really kind of like your conventional concealer. So even though it's called concealer, it's probably best being termed as a camouflage makeup. So it's really denser and thicker than a foundation, but it kind of can be utilised differently. It doesn't have to be quite heavy. So let's get cracking. So I'm just going to give the bottle a shake. Now these are the two products that I'm going to say that as part of the summer makeup is your kind of holy grail. So you're going to go with something called Due Date, which is a Palmer Rose and Sunflower facial oil. Perfect for popping on your skin. Now don't be afraid if you are oily. Oily doesn't mean you should avoid oil. Oily skin probably means that whatever you're using to cleanse your face in the morning is stripping it from all of its natural goodness. So unfortunately cleansers, if they're quite harsh, can strip your face of the good and bad bacteria. And what your skin then does throughout the day is it then overcompensates and creates more oil. So you actually find if you're an oily skin type, you might look to add an oil into your daily routine, and that'll actually calm down the overproduction. Good morning, Carol. Now this, as Carol will also confirm, is Due Date literally smells like heaven. It is one of my top sellers in June and July because people who are going to the beach, who work outside, who work in air conditioning, adding this to your beauty routine morning and night will literally transform your skin, and it will transform how you apply your makeup in the morning. Now it's funny because my face must be quite dry today because that has literally soaked in and completely gone. So I might actually add a little bit more because it's disappeared instantly. So my face is obviously feeling quite dry today. I think it's still recovering from when we went to the seaside on Saturday and it was so bloody windy. So I think I've got windburn. So if you are hopping on, please do say hello and say hello while I'm live. If you can share this video with your network, I'd be super appreciative. There's just a share button at the bottom and it basically just allows you to invite friends or share it with your network. If you are watching this replay back or watching this video because one of my fellow Limelife beauty guides has shared my video or commented on it so it's appeared in your timeline, please do reach out to them and ask any questions. So there we go. It feels so much softer. It makes such a difference. And also now, because my skin is getting better and also the kind of texture of it is getting better, I'm actually getting more and more confident at going out without any makeup on, which is amazing. So now I don't have any Limelife products for my brows yet. I'm actually ordering today when I put my order through. So Natalie, your mascara order will be going through today. So it should be with us in the next week. I'm going to be ordering some of their brow powders. So it's basically eyeshadow, but you can mix it with the setting spray to allow it to stay on your eyes. So what I'm going to do is use my old trusty brow wax. And I always put it on the back of my hand. So whenever you tune in on my live, I've usually got a brown splodge on the back of my hand, and that's because I like to warm it up first. And speaking of warming up, I'm just going to pop my mascara in the oven because that makes it so much more kind of easier to go on. This is a top tip, ladies. Pop your mascara in your bra strap, and it just basically just cooks it, warms it up. Pop it in the oven. That's what we're going to call it. So I'm just warming up the brow wax. Now, don't be alarmed. What they did on this video is they draw a line, and it's how thick you want your nose to be, basically, and making your brows more symmetrical. So let me use two brushes of a similar. So basically, how thick you want your nose to look depends on where your eyebrows start from. So if you go with the old technique where you put the brush along the side of your nostrils, technically where my brows are now is where they should start based on my nose, but some people have thinner or wider like flared nostrils. So if you imagine if my nostrils were a little bit further out, my eyebrows would start here, so it'd make my eyes look really far apart. So basically what you need to do is you cover them up, and depending on how thick or how wide you want your nose to look, and it can completely transform your face. But what we basically need to do is we fill out our brows as normal here, but we actually then do a little bit of a unibrow in the middle. Now on the video it looked fantastic, and I know this is slightly going off the summer makeup, it's a completely different tip, but it's almost kind of just, why not? I'll just tie it in. I can't believe it's nearly 12 o'clock and I still haven't put any makeup on. I can't even guarantee I've brushed my teeth this morning. So I'm just going to do my brows as normal along here. So I always do a line. Apologies if you can't really see me. So I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. It might be a complete waste of time. And then I'm just going to drag the natural arch down. Now I'm a serious eyebrow picker, so on this side I've got that thing that you kind of, I do it without even realise I'm doing it, which is even more annoying. So this side is a little bit thicker with the hair naturally, so I do always need to work a little bit harder on this side. Now it does take a few more minutes doing this technique, but I am assured by this YouTuber that this is how we get our perfectly symmetrical brows. So I'm just creating a line underneath, and that's going to be my guideline. And again, I'm just going to try and marry up this side based on the fact there are no hairs this side. But I'm excited to get the eyeshadow to use that on my brows. Basically what I was saying before I got interrupted with myself, is you mix it with the setting spray. And actually when you use that and do this technique but use the powder in the setting spray, your brows are on for literally like 2 or 3 days. So you shouldn't have to use a makeup remover around that area. So now I have watched this video 3 or 4 times. That does not mean this is going to work. I'm glad to see you still sticking with me, Carol. I can't guarantee this technique is going to work. I've never ever done it before, but let's give it a go. I mean, this is the fun thing about makeup, ladies. You can just wash it off. So it doesn't matter if it goes wrong. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? And it's going to look horrendous to start with. So my brows naturally are quite far apart. I mean, I'm a bit scared. Now, I've watched 2 different demos. One woman did a line down and they should meet up, and the other person did a line straight across. Now, I'm not sure, and she also did that. I mean, I'm a little bit scared. And anybody joining in is going to think I've gone nuts. But basically, this is the unibrow technique. See, Jenna, hello. You probably know what I'm doing. You watch a lot of YouTube videos. But it's basically how you make your eyebrows symmetrical. I mean, I'm not convinced. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to practice rather than make my very first attempt to be on Facebook Live. But hey ho. Please do hop on. Anybody hopping on is going to think I've gone nuts. But you basically, it's all about angles. So you're basically now in between there, you're basically drawing in the bits that are missing to make it more symmetrical. And the idea with an angled brush is that you're making it look like brush strokes rather than kind of just colouring it in. So straight away. You've never done it, Jenna. Ah! Yes, you've got great eyebrows. You've got a lot of volume. I'm not necessarily I've ever plucked them, but they're quite, well, I picked this side. But yeah, I've never really thought about my eyebrows before, and I've never noticed that they're far apart till I've sat and watched this bloody unibrow woman, and now she's made me all paranoid. And now I'm like on it with this unibrow technique. So if anybody's hopping on and you've ever done the unibrow technique for making symmetrical eyebrows, please do hop on. I probably imagine anybody who's watching that does, what's it called? The microblading, on anybody who's ever had microblading, I'm pretty sure this is what they do. They create kind of lines, and it's literally just, I mean, ignore the bit in the middle. Just ignore the bit in the middle. It's all completely kosher. And now I'm just going to go back in and just using really light strokes, I'm just going to colour in where there's gaps. Now this is before I've added any makeup. So don't panic. I'm not going out like this. And I'm sure with a little bit more practice, I won't be so heavy-handed in the middle. But it just helps you, and I can see how it's helping, because I can see that that bottom bit of the triangle, because of the angle it's at, is almost where they're meant to be. If that makes sense. I mean, so far so good. Yeah, see, I love the shape of my brows. I love this part. Max has got the exact same thing. Ryan's are quite flat and quite straight, whereas me and Max have both got a quite high arch, and I absolutely love it. I think my eyebrows are probably my favourite feature when I've kind of made an effort with them. So I'm just going to leave them like that for a minute and crack on with what the story behind this live is, which is summer makeup. So obviously your eyebrows play a part in that. Excuse the unibrowness. Let's find my lid. Yeah, so anyone thing is and say, oh my God, she's not plucked her eyebrows. So that's the theory. So you use a triangle from the bottom, a triangle from the top, and a line across the top, and the line should be straight. I think it's a little bit off, but sod it. This is the first attempt. I'm only going to get better. But oh my God, I look awful. Hi, anybody joining live? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've not gone mad, I promise you. So back to the concealer. So I've got a really pretty base because I've used the due date. I'm not sure how this is going to completely work because Now obviously I'm using concealer rather than foundation to get rid of my unibrow, but I'm basically going to go in and I'm just going to really lightly apply, if I can find my brush, the concealer on the bits where I'm a little bit red or a little bit kind of discoloured. And then we'll figure this out in a minute. So I'm just going to apply a bit of the concealer around my cheeks and around my nose. Now this concealer as well, ladies, is waterproof. So when it's on, especially in the summer months, you're going to find that it stays put all day. Like I was saying before at the beginning of the live, before I cracked on with my eyebrows, is this is actually classed as camouflage makeup. So it's used in the TV and film industry to cover scars, burns, discoloration, tattoos. That was kind of its life's purpose. But we've now rebranded it and it's now our concealer. But a little bit goes an extremely, extremely long way. If you've got the foundation and you thought that went a long way, this goes even further. And what I would then do is, once I've stippled it on with a brush, I'm going to go in with a damp beauty blender and I'm basically just going to pounce it into my skin. So it gets rid of any lines, but we're not going to be losing any of the coverage. Like I say, this stuff's waterproof. All it's going to do is give us a really nice kind of natural finish and cover up any redness. But because you can still see here that I haven't applied any product, I'm going to look like I've got nothing on. Which, let's admit, ladies, in the summer, that is the end goal, isn't it? The aim of the game in the summer is to be makeup free. And let's just face it, that is not a reality. If you're like me and your skin's a little bit temperamental, going makeup free is not really a kind of the reality of what we do. We like to look like we've got no makeup on, but actually what we have got on is quite a lot. So that has just taken all of the redness away from any breakouts that I've got. So I'm just going to quickly dab my brush at the bottom here, because my chin at the minute is probably the place where it's the worst. But it's magic and it's so light. So the rest of my face has got no makeup on at all. So it's completely free to breathe. It's got the due date on it, so it's getting fed. It's just really, really pretty. And also, I would always go over with the translucent powder where you've applied the product. And what that'll do is it'll just seal it in. Just give it that little bit of extra staying power. And it's gorgeous because I've not applied any to my nose. My nose has still got those little like freckles on it, like the sunspots. So I actually look like I've got no makeup on because my sunspots are still there. But I've actually been able to camouflage all of the redness and any discoloration. So my God, my face looks flawless. Ah! So excuse me if you're joining in. Hi Louise, if you're joining me. I'm using a new technique to do symmetrical brows. So apologies if I look a bit strange. But I am going to still continue to put my finishing products on. So I'm going to go back in with the bronzer, because this again will just add to that sun-kissed look. So really gently kind of sweep it around in a 3 motion. And if you are watching on replay, please do get proper replay. I always do like to come back and reply to anybody who's watching on replay. And also, if you're watching on replay, you can still share. There may be someone in your network that's not a huge foundation fan, but they do still suffer with spots and outbreaks, or young kind of teenage girls and boys that have got spots and need kind of something to cover them, but they don't want to look like they've got foundation on. So this camouflage makeup is perfect for men and for boys. Boys suffer terribly with acne because of the testosterone. It messes with their skin, and there's quite a lot of stigma around using makeup, so they may find using a camouflage concealer just to dab on the ones that are a little bit kind of angry will just help their confidence so much. And because it doesn't clog your pores, it's not going to cause further irritation and make your spots worse. So anybody out there that has a boy in their life that suffers with spots, they don't have to suffer. and they don't have to have the stigma of wearing makeup. They can use something like a camouflage cream like what we have here. So I'm just popping on some blusher, and this is just going to give me a bit of a natural colour, and because blusher number 3, that's this one here, has a natural kind of highlighter in it as well, it just adds to that summer kind of glow, and it's so pretty. But I've got next to no makeup on, but in the mirror, I don't know how well you can see it here in my live, but in my mirror, apart from my monobrow, it's just so pretty and so natural, and that is what we aim for, ladies. We want to look natural. We want to still look like us. So we're going to get the mascara out of the cooker. Now I'm not going to apply any setting spray today because this is a summer makeup look. It's entirely up to you if you wanted your makeup to last all day, but I feel because the concealer's waterproof, that I don't really need to keep anything on, so I'm actually going to skip the setting spray stage today. And also I feel that this summer makeup is perfect for people who are going on holiday, so you might not want to take too much makeup with you. So we've literally used Due Date, which will double up as a moisturiser and also a night product, so when you've been out in the sun all day you can pop on some Due Date, so that will take care of any dryness from the sun exposure. You've got the smallest, tiniest little concealer palette. You don't really need to take a brush. You could just apply it with a sponge, a little sponge, or your finger, and blend it in. And then basically, if you've got the Duo palette or the Trio that I've been using here, you could pop your translucent powder, a blush and a bronzer all in the same little holder. So you're literally taking away next to nothing. And you'll achieve a flawless summer look every time. So I'm just applying a really light coat of mascara, because this is something, an essential you should always pack in your holiday bag. But my skin just looks flawless, and because I've applied the Due Date, it's still really dewy. So it's got a really nice natural kind of finish to it. I mean, my eyebrows are on point, like seriously. So let's get the magic to happen. So thank you if you are still here with me live. I've actually put my brush away like an absolute numpty. If you are watching back on replay, this is where the magic happens. Thank you for staying with me. So basically all we then need to do is I'm going to put a really small bit back on the brush, even though I've lost it. So pop a little bit back on the brush, and I'm actually just going to sweep around the outside of the palette where it's kind of overspilt and looks a bit ugly. So I'm just going to use that to apply to my brush, because we don't need very much. We're literally using this to kind of make that disappear. So basically we're just going to swipe. And what that should mean is that now my brows are closer together, and they also should be symmetrical. Oh my God, I love it. That is incredible. What a great little tip. Now, was that the one I was using, or was I using the other one? I really need to sort my life out. Got that much stuff everywhere. So let's just have a look at what happened there. Oh, and then I put my hand in that. Gosh, it's so, isn't it funny how you can watch things on YouTube, all these tips and tricks that you just don't know existed. So we're just cleaning up that monobrow. Anybody who's just tuned in, you're going to have to go back on replay and watch the transformation take place. So I'm just dragging the concealer along, and what that's doing is it's just cleaning up the under eye area. So if you, like I say, you want to see the magic, you need to go back to the beginning. Let's just But I do think it's quite a good little trick. And I think once we get the powder and we can set it with some setting spray, and what I probably should have done is I probably shouldn't have applied the mascara whilst I'm like blending it in. Drag it under my eyes because we want it to merge together. Pretty happy with that. Now it feels like it was a little bit more faffier, but I don't have the added stress of thinking that my brows don't look symmetrical, because they look pretty damn good. So thank you for watching. That was my summer makeup look. Basically just using, so we used Due Date, and we used the concealer, we used the Trio palette, and obviously, wherever I just chucked it, the mascara. So summer holiday essentials, ladies. So you're looking at Due Date, which you can double up as a face oil, a moisturiser, and also a perfect base before you apply the concealer. We then have the finishing touches, which can take you from day to night, the translucent powder to hold it in, the bronzer just to add a little bit of sun-kissed definition to your face, a blusher because we all need to add a little bit of colour just to kind of pump us up, and then obviously the amazing mascara. We did also do the monobrow trick today, so if you are wanting to find out what that is, you're going to have to watch it back on replay, or if you've watched me the whole way through on replay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your sunny day, and hopefully you found that video useful. If you did enjoy it, please do leave me a comment, an emoji, a thumbs up, anything at all. And if you think your network would love it, please do press the share button so I can reach as many people as possible, so I can share all these amazing products with you. Thank you so much for watching.